Hey guys, it's MMA Vulture coming at you live with Dana White's Contender Series Week 5 full card breakdown and predictions. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the first bout of the night. It is Corinne Laframboise versus Nicolle Caliari. We're going to go ahead and talk about Corinne first. So Corinne has alright boxing. She has decent grappling, has good submissions. She is a pressure fighter. She likes to push the pace. She likes to come at you. She will eat shots. Given her nature to come forward a lot and push the pace, she is tough. In her fight against Manson, she almost did get choked out the first round, but then ultimately came back and did get an armbar. So she does have pretty good grappling, I will say that. Now let's flip over to Nicolle Caliari. She is a good grappler. She is a good boxer. She does have good high kicks. She has good clinch work and is strong in her in the clinches. In her fight against Kay Hansen, I did notice that whenever she went for her takedown, she left her neck wide open, and I think Corinne could ultimately grab that neck if she ends up leaving it open. But other than that, I think Caliari has way better boxing than Corinne, as well as better grappling. I wouldn't say maybe not better submissions, but definitely better grappling wise. And ultimately, I think Caliari is going to come out with the victory over Corinne. And I think it's going to be via decision. I don't see either of these two really ending the fight early. That's just my opinion. Let's go ahead and look at the lines for betting on these two. I think for this, I do see value in Nicolle for money line, as well as over 2.5. I really do think that this bout is going to go to the decision. I don't see either of these two really putting each other away at all. I don't see any submissions happening. I think it's going to be 3 rounds of Nicolle getting the better of Corinne on the ground and on the feet. Moving right along to the next bout, we have Otar Tanzilov versus Josias Musasa. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Josias first. So he has good boxing. He does have one punch knockout power. He has strong kicks. Something I do want to note on him is he hasn't really been tested grappling wise, which I think is very important. His takedown defense looked decent when he stuffed Sabers in their match. He did ultimately take down Sabers and ended up ground and pounding him and looked great in that bout. Now against Gazmir Diata, he did get dropped multiple times, which is something to note. We don't know how good his chin is, if he has an iron chin or not, so that is something to note. Now moving along to Otar Tanzilov. He has great boxing. He's got fast, quick hands. He's got great high kicks, powerful calf kicks. He's got good takedown defense. He, in his bout against Muhammad Devlin, he actually stuffed him. He didn't allow him to take him down. He looked great in that match and ultimately ended up KOing him. So with this bout, I think I'm going to have to go with Otar Tanzilov. I think he's going to be the better striker. He's going to be the more patient and more picky striker, as well as I think he's going to have the advantage in the grappling department, where I think Josias is lacking. And I think Otar Tanzilov could ultimately get his first submission on Josias. So we're going to go ahead and look at the betting on this bout right here. So we see we have Otar Tanzilov at -221 and Josias at +181. So there is some value in Tanzilov if you want to add him in like a parlay. Doesn't look bad. Now for the over, I don't know if I would recommend going with the over. I think this bout ends early, maybe early first, or maybe late. Actually, I would say late first, early second. That's what I'm thinking. I think Otar Tanzilov overwhelms Josias. I think he ultimately gets the better of him and puts Josias away. I see this going under 1.5, as well as money line Otar Tanzilov. Moving along, we have our next bout of the night. Yousri Belgaroui versus Taiga Iwasaki. If I botched their names, I'm sorry. So we're going to go ahead and talk about Iwasaki first. He has decent boxing. He has good grappling. His takedown defense looked good against Lim Dongju. He didn't get taken down by Lim Dongjun, even though he did go for multiple takedowns on Iwasaki. That is something to note, as well as Iwasaki has nasty elbows. He likes fighting on the inside, likes clinching with you, likes dirty boxing with you. That's ultimately his best suit. I think Yousri, moving right along to Yousri, I think he's better in terms of striking. He has a quick, powerful jab. I think he's going to stay on the outside, keep his range. He has great kicks, including a nasty question mark kick, which I think is going to be of use here. He has good takedown defense, as he showed against Marco Tulio in his UFC debut, whenever he versed him in a previous Contender Series. His gas tank didn't look too well in that fight, but I did learn that he was battling a disease, so that is something to note. If you were worried about his gas tank, him gassing out, I don't see that being a problem, seeing as he was sick going into his Marco Tulio fight. Another thing to note is he is powerful. He has powerful shots, and I think he's gonna get Iwasaki out of there early. I think he's gonna end him quick and early, and ultimately I have Yousri Belgaroui winning by knockout in the first round. Let's go ahead and look at the lines here. We have Yousri at -550. I don't really see him being used at all here. It's too wide of a line. Money line makes no sense going with a -550. Over 1.5 at -155 is a little crazy, but I could see this going to decision, seeing as Yousri doesn't have the best of striking, but he is good. He does have good boxing, but I think this fight ultimately is going to end early. I think Yousri is going to get the best of Iwasaki, and I think under 1.5 could end up happening. Moving right along to the next bout of the night, we have Kody Steele versus Quemuel Ottoni. And for this fight, this one's an interesting one. We have Quemuel Ottoni, who's a decent boxer, okay grappler, doesn't have the best grappling skills. He does have good outside kicks. One thing I want to know is he is a wild puncher. He sometimes throws looping shots. He does, whenever he fights, he keeps his hands very low, especially when he backs up, leaving his chin wide open to getting caught. I do think overall Cody Steele is the better fighter here because Cody has great striking with power. He has precise striking. He has great grappling. He's strong in his clinches. He mixes his punches well in with his takedowns. Has good takedown defense. He does have multiple grappling matches, so he is well versed in the grappling section. So I think that is gonna be something to note here. I think he's going to test Quemuel Ottoni's takedown defense. I think that's ultimately where Cody's going to want this fight. Even striking, I think Cody is better than Quemuel in terms of boxing. I think overall Cody has everything checked in terms of boxes. I think he is overall the better fighter over Quemuel, and he is my lock of the night for Dana White's Contender Series. So we're going to go ahead and jump over to the odds. Let's look at the odds for Cody Steele. So we have negative 206 for Cody, and that's not bad, as well as plus 166 on Quemuel Ottoni. I think Cody is great value here. I think over 180 or over 1.5 for negative 185 is also good here. I think Cody, like I said, is going to test Quemuel's grappling here. I think that this could go to decision. I see Cody testing Quemuel's grappling, taking him to the ground, smothering him for the 3 rounds, and ultimately winning by decision. So, yeah, that's what I'm calling. Moving right along to the main event of the card, and it is Navajo Stirling versus Phillip Latu. And this one is an interesting one as well because we have 2 heavy-handed hitters here. Seeing as Phil Latu, he has decent boxing. He has no ground game from what I can tell. He is heavy-handed. He is very reckless and wild with his punches. He has questionable takedown defense, like I said prior. He did stuff Maurice Morris multiple times in their bout, but Maurice Morris, we don't know how well his grappling is compared to Navajo's grappling. As well as in the bout with Alvin Hines, he also did get taken down there. So we're gonna really see how Philip's ground game is here, because I think Navajo's ground game is very good, as well as his boxing. He's a fast striker with great kicks. He has a great calf kick. He has a great high kick, as well as he does mix up his shots well. He looks for those openings, looks for those angles that you aren't going to see him coming from, as well as he does have great takedown defense. He did stop Sam Key in their fight from taking him down. He outboxed Sam Key, outgrappled him, looked great in his last fight against Sam Key. I think all around Navajo is a better fighter in terms of boxing, in terms of grappling, as well as you can see, he does actually have a reach advantage here. I think Navajo is going to beat Phillip Latu, and I think we're going to see him test Phillip's grappling and his ground game. I think that's ultimately what Navajo is going to go after here. Let's go ahead and look at the lines here for this fight. We have Navajo Stirling at negative 260, and we also have Phillip Latu at plus 200. and then the over 1.5 and under. I do think that there's value in Navajo Stirling, maybe adding him to a parlay. I For this bout, over 1.5 under, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. I'm gonna have to say it's gonna go over. I think that if they stand up, it's gonna be dangerous. There's gonna be some dangerous striking. I think ultimately Navajo is gonna be able to outlast Phillip and ultimately overwhelm him, overpressure him, take him to the ground, smother him, and just overall hold him there for the 3 rounds, outstriking, outpointing him, and just all around being better than Phillip Latu. And that's my pick. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.